No matter how hard I try.
Hi YouTube, this is Tech Bro. On this video we have the LG G6's new flagship, the Koreans, and as you can see is here pretty much no longer modular. This one has now simply tries times all errors of the last year is ironed out and a really mountain delivered check flagship. What as first, of course, stands out are the rounded corners display here we hear, then, a panel on the one handheld format to 1809/22:1 is therefore means the upper half and the lower half is exactly the same length and the pages are of course then also again exactly half as long as the display height is. The movie is the resolution a bit different, we 2880 times there leads to pixels, so pretty much exactly half respectively. And otherwise just said they rounded picture from left to right. You can see here that the whole since acquiring additional is completed there is also a bit more thinking workers behind you, so try the device possible making resistant rush, for example why the edge is so worked that the display itself it up there is denied, and also asks speak rounded is thus intended the device significantly less prone for rush B because, according to statistics, the 11 meetings is largest portion of the losses in smartphones yes by rush past forming a rise where the device exactly the corner lands and then bursts, so to speak, the inner panel there. What now bit of notice is that of the rank of Big Bang, not quite the coffin's rounding how we overlay that was thus the color at the edge, otherwise are the edges very narrow. Advise the back model is the whole course but then better come over because the front so anyway waiting and her then quite just not in rand have more of here is relatively conspicuous. This helmet model as well as the race are in themselves we very narrow samples are yes, I would say so 5,6mm only, and below it is then there is the 1,00 would I think times suggest as I said IPS panel here and use is also very bright. Might after this works should include regulated and think the last border for almost offer brightness to make the display makes are relatively interesting things there are. Among other things special camera app is then so realized that here in comb mode use different settings can then we shoot photos for social media platform to make as example Instagram in the photos completely square in this case. Otherwise are also a few other questions by the young Berlin form. The displays of use is the so-called we have a picture of webcam or the grip negative camera here and use is in the middle and 3,42 format so full resolution and above will be then the space to because the camera so capture is still the first select gallery images but one it can simply tape on it up here and then she gets off on this appears there are a few other but ask this then likely later once we hopefully test are not present have otherwise yes also welcome to this tube piece next to it, of course, the distance sensor to brightness there's stick of 5 megapixel 50 active. The camera also the boyfriend is relatively kept simple, the keys for Android and at the bottom render and in this case software implemented all running on new 7.0 naturally with the new LG surfaces with smartphone apps made completely of metal. Completely here is not quite right, we have an aluminum frame of the defense quality also acts well finished and also on the thickness fourth we have 9mm entry happen with Alpenbook on the frames to be dusting to specifically and resistance possible suggested. An author special feature here is the device completely water and therefore dust proof to EP 6.8 is ready target that thing that X possibility think up to half hours even to survive underwater in a half or a meter deep for excuse me too small corrective action on the data the back. The long sides also may be tapered prevented then a little to other smartphones certain manufacturers for war also for other surfaces doing so easily lapped half so the option here may be attacked that is otherwise on the back your fingerprint reader of it on the home button is as he therefore precisely button doesn't turbid stream since the fingerprint suggests as I saw adding called it and we have on the back 2310 megapixel camera. The iris I know because it's just in the instant but do not have the opportunity intuitive use and to further this camera feature LED are quite different we designed. We have so even a 3 megapixel camera on one page with normal with the speaker autofocus also between stable further you but is a second camera 310 megapixels in the wide kept so similar works as the ultimately condenso in the camera surface in here fast times in the camera surface can fix switch between the wide angle one sees that on the picture changed considerably longer there is a small disadvantage that this is not on top of this ORF camera the minimum trouble is the dose does not look super performance in live area of has a little what to do but you have to somehow already that even the director and band has otherwise the software relatively similar at least in the function is therefore her has various modes you can among other things. The Pro mode or then click here this camera very many settings make you held one more time the 3 resolutions and be all possible at setting physics seat and time also the option for the assets building project of euro per day but only in Asia as far as I have understood available also as packet still letter with jargon and similar otherwise you have just seen I'm dying this is an Oracle Facebook commanded that's whether it around the IPS panel of the case that a purchase one is the case and it is so currently and David Reefy so it is device that is at attacking on display on the table easily discover and again lie down to sleep now one slips then the necessity of such them to pack for the woman and it may continue to be at the back for a while the ultimately well typical otherwise the hardware yet to say we have a patch under the hood should actually be there and authors when I go into diverse blame and sell I would have under the hardware info even the CPU displaying get it from you see that page is the US series and the case interpokes her handsome encourages 21 under the hood who has 235 tigers to its local maximum is therefore the last year is high and Buzo the app have I was again optimized under favorites as for example in the market and for whom the last year's combined with 4 gigabytes of memory and 32 gigabyte flash memory and evil is also models with important flash give. So saves a bit or want to probably something adverse 3.8 easily share can I watch group and then he up here with your micro SD card slot and nano is of course at the top peak then for 0.5 mm jack connectors companies running lit though it has the user here also moved inward also want a little stability added on the left side but here in the event the loudness grabs a bit cheap and not also to press gas when a page looks will also now not here no camera though the really high resolution 13 negative camera comes with all the optics submitted 7.9 but even more space and it up him slightly above the lower hammer down minutes more neither really impressed small if not I remember then you go the microphone course up here set the individual speakers and all supports also the charts to 3.0 the 3200 billion accumulated possible to supply quickly with energy yes the Frankfurter overlooking. Thanks for watching don't forget like and subscribe for more videos.